All right, let's talk about one of the most hazardous jobs in construction, excavation. We're going to zero in on one single, absolutely critical rule that can be the difference between a normal day and a fatal accident. So, let's get into it.
Our mission today is simple: to prevent deadly trench collapses. And we're going to do that by mastering one vital safety rule. You know, it's a hard truth, but putting that pile of excavated dirt, the spoil pile, in the wrong place is one of the top reasons workers die in trench collapses. Getting this right isn't just a good idea, it is literally a matter of life and death.
So here's our game plan. We'll start with the official OSHA rule. Then we'll dig into the science of why it's so important. We'll look at the tragic results when the rule is ignored, give you a clear safety playbook, and wrap up with the one key takeaway you have to remember. Okay, let's get right to the heart of it. And let's be perfectly clear, this is not a suggestion, it's a non-negotiable mandate from OSHA, the Occupational Safety and Health Administration. But before we get to the rule itself, we need to be on the same page with two key terms. First up, what exactly is an excavation? Well, OSHA's definition is super broad. It's basically any man-made cut in the ground. So we're talking about everything from a massive pit for a building foundation to a narrow trench you dig for a pipe. Bottom line, if you're moving earth, this applies to you.
And number two, the spoil pile. Now, this sounds pretty straightforward, right? It's just the pile of dirt, rock, and whatever else you dug out of the ground. It has to go somewhere. But where it goes, well, that's the whole reason we're here. That seemingly harmless pile of dirt is a massive, hidden danger.
So what is the magic number? The rule? It's 2 feet. That's it. 2 feet is the absolute minimum distance that spoil pile has to be from the edge of that trench. And that's a really key detail. We're talking 2 feet from the base of the pile to the edge. Just remember that number, 2 feet. And here it is, straight from the source. This is the official OSHA standard, word for word. You really can't get any clearer than that. This rule exists for one and only one reason: to protect you and your coworkers from the very material you just dug up. It's not a guideline, it's the law. But why 2 feet? What is it about that specific distance? You know, understanding the why behind the rule is just as important as knowing the rule itself, because that's what makes the danger real. Let's break down the physics at play here. It all comes down to a concept called surcharge load. That pile of dirt isn't just sitting there. Its weight, gravity pulling it straight down, creates this powerful sideways pressure pushing against the trench walls. It's kind of like stepping on a water balloon. The pressure goes out to the sides. You're basically adding a huge invisible force that's trying to squeeze that trench shut. And that pressure starts a dangerous chain reaction. You see, the trench walls are already unstable just because you dug them. The surcharge load adds even more stress. The soil particles start to lose their grip on each other, and that creates what's called a failure wedge, basically a chunk of earth that's primed and ready to fall. And when it goes, it's catastrophic. I mean, just 1 cubic yard of soil can weigh as much as a small car. We're talking over 3,000 pounds. Okay, so the science is pretty clear. But what does it actually look like in the real world when someone breaks this rule? Let's walk through a scenario that is tragically common and 100% preventable. So imagine a worker down in a trench, maybe installing a pipeline. The crew is in a hurry, trying to save a few minutes, and they pile all the excavated dirt right there on the edge, inside that critical 2-foot danger zone. The surcharge load is just too much. The ground, which might look fine from the surface, suddenly just gives way. And in a split second, that worker is buried under thousands of pounds of soil. It's not a freak accident. It is the direct and predictable result of ignoring that simple 2-foot rule. I mean, look at this. The difference between life and death is staring you right in the face. On the left, unsafe. That weight is sitting right on top of the most vulnerable part of the ground, that failure zone. And on the right, safe. That simple 2-foot setback moves the pressure away from the edge, and it gives the trench walls a fighting chance to hold up. So how do we make sure we are always on the right side of that picture? Every single time, on every single job? Well, it comes down to a clear, actionable playbook that everybody has to follow, no exceptions.
Here are your 5 must-dos. Number 1, the 2-foot rule is your starting point, always. 2, if for some reason you can't get 2 feet, you have to use retaining devices or barriers. 3, a competent person needs to inspect that excavation every single day before work starts. 4, always use protective systems like trench boxes or shoring to protect against cave-ins. And 5, keep heavy equipment away from the edges because they create a surcharge load too.
Now, I mentioned a competent person, and this is a really important OSHA-defined role. This isn't just the person with the most experience. This is a specific individual who is trained to spot hazards, like a spoil pile that's too close or cracks in the soil, and who has the full authority to stop the entire job on the spot and get the problem fixed.
We've gone over the rule, the science behind it, and the playbook to stay safe. So let's bring it all home. It really all boils down to one simple, powerful idea.
This right here is the most important thing to burn into your memory. Proper spoil pile distance isn't about avoiding a fine from an inspector, it is about preventing a funeral. Keeping that distance is one of the most basic, fundamental safety requirements on any site. It is not optional, it's your responsibility. So I'm gonna leave you with this one last question to think about. When you're out there and you see that spoil pile and you think about moving it, ask yourself, is that 2 feet of ground worth a person's life? The answer is pretty obvious, isn't it?
Subscribe to HSestudy for more OSHA safety training, excavation safety lessons, and life-saving workplace safety knowledge. Your safety is your responsibility.